Dominik Mysterio has always had wrestling in his blood from day one. Since he was a kid, Dom went to all the events to see his dad Rey. It got to the point where Dom would be the vocal point of a storyline in 2005, where Eddie Guerrero would claim that he's the father of Dominik. Mind you, Dom was 8 years old at the time. This feud was low-key crazy and insane looking back at some clips. Just look at this promo package.
He is a chicken! Everybody knows I'm not a chicken, it's you! The future of a child hangs in the balance.
Yeah, this feud was crazy. Like, Eddie showed up at Dom's, like, daycare or whatever. Dom went into, like, foster care. Like, this was insane. In this promo, Rey literally said that Eddie might be his biological father. Even nowadays, people say he looks exactly like Eddie, and shit, they ain't wrong. Anyway, this feud was amazing and led to a match at SummerSlam. In a pretty good match, Rey would eventually win and get the custody of Dominik. Vince taught us something here. When in doubt, have a ladder match for your kids. But you could tell when Dom talked, he wasn't bad at all, and wrestling was in his future. Over the coming years, Dom would be shown on screen, like when Rey won the world title in 2006, in 2010 when Punk was feuding with Rey, and in 2018, Dom started training with Rey and Jay Lethal. I remember in 2019, Brock fucked Dom up. He beat the hell out of him, and he would be a part of this feud. Don't ask me about Brock returning to WWE. Don't ask me about it. At Survivor Series, he would try to help Rey win, but eventually Brock won. So around 2019, Dom would be shown for most, if not all, of Rey's feuds. And eventually, he and Rey would feud with Seth Rollins. This would lead to Dom having his first ever match at SummerSlam 2020. Rey and Dom would team together for a while, until they feuded with the Judgment Day, and for the coming weeks, they would try to recruit Dom to join them. So at Clash at the Castle in 2022, it would be Rey and Edge versus the Judgment Day. In a good match where Edge and Rey won. After the match, Dominik Mysterio turned heel. And this completely changed his career. See, look, as a face, to be honest, he was boring, but as a heel, we've seen the best from him, and he's shown that he's very talented. So far, he's gotten hate, but in a great way. Dom has won titles and had big matches against his father at WrestleMania, and you could probably tell that was a goal from day one. Dom is in one of the best groups in wrestling and bagged two of the baddest females in the company in Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. So, how did turning Dominik Mysterio heel completely change his career? Well, let's take a look back in his future potential. And real quick before the video starts, go follow our Instagram, it's on the screen right now. And go follow our TikTok. As soon as we hit the threshold again, we're going to go live and shit. And alright, y'all, let's get into the video. So with Dom being around WWE his whole life, it made sense for him to start training to become a wrestler. Over the years, you would get small samples on what he could potentially become. When he got called up, they started feuding with Seth and Buddy Murphy. They would feud for a few months, but on August 23rd, 2020, Dom had his first ever match against Seth Rollins in a street fight. And it was a pretty good match, but Seth would beat Dom. Even in the loss, Dom showed that he could become a really good wrestler and that he had the tools. I will say it was pretty cool to see the behind the scenes videos of Edge talking to him and everything. The next week at Payback, Rey and Dom would get their revenge and face Seth and Buddy, and Rey and Dom would get the win, which was Dominik's first WWE win. After this, Dom would face Seth again to challenge for the WWE Championship, which Seth won. So with the draft coming up, Rey and Dom were both drafted to SmackDown. He would just have a couple matches and small feuds, but on May 16th at Backlash, Rey and Dom faced Dolph and Robert Roode for the tag titles. And Rey and Dom won to become the first ever father-son tag team champions in WWE history. So next, they would feud with the Bloodline. On June 4th, they had the match, and Dom would pin Jimmy to win, but the ref didn't notice Jimmy's shoulder come up. They would continue this feud, and eventually at Money in the Bank, Jimmy and Jay beat them to win the tag titles. So now, the fans weren't really hyped for Dom, because to be honest, he was a little boring, just look at him. But for now, the company kept Rey and him together. In October 2021, Rey and Dom were both drafted to Monday Night Raw. With Mania 38 coming up, the Mysterio started a feud with The Miz, and this led to Miz getting Logan Paul as a tag partner. So at Mania 38, it would be Logan and The Miz versus the Mysterios, and The Miz and Logan would go on to win. After this, the fans were really tired of Rey and Dom teaming. They started a feud with the Judgment Day, and not gonna lie, they did some crazy stuff. Like Finn and Priest would try to recruit Dom, they would jump Rey on his 20th year anniversary. They really wanted Dom. So on August 1st, Finn and Priest would face Rey and Dom. Edge would return to attack the Judgment Day, but he would actually spear Dom. Dom would take this personal, and this would cause a rift between them all. Eventually, Dom and Rhea would share a moment, thinking Dom could turn heel. This would lead to a 2v2 match at Clash at the Castle with Rey and Edge versus Finn and Priest. And Rey and Edge won, but after the match, this happened.
Collective side. Oh my God! What the hell? Damn it, kid! What are you doing?
Dominik turned heel, and this is exactly what he needed. This gave him so much aura. He explained he turned heel because he didn't want to stay in his father's spotlight. Rey would try to save his son, but Dom was too deep in at this point. This would start a feud between them, and when Dom first turned heel, I remember when he first came out, Dom couldn't even get a word out, and it was crazy, but this made him look 100 times better. This is what Dom needed. With all this in mind, Dom turned on his own father. He thought it'd be a good idea to pull up to the Mysterio Thanksgiving with Rhea. But Rey wasn't going for it. Yo, they beat the hell out of Rey in his own crib. I'm crying. And to make it even worse, Dom pulled up again for Christmas. Rey told him to go outside. Rey got pushed, and Rey snitched on Dom and got arrested. Little did we know, this changed Dom's life forever. Dom would explain how prison changed him, and right here he had so much aura. So the next week on Raw, they'd be on Miz TV, and Dom would tell a story on how he pressed someone in A. I could see it. Then we learned this isn't Dominik anymore. This is Dirty Dom. Shit, in prison he came out with a teardrop and a new nickname. At the Royal Rumble, Rey wouldn't show up, so at number 18, Dom came out and he had Rey's mask. Yo, Michael Cole wasn't having it. He was pissed. This feud would continue on Valentine's Day. Rey took Dom's table, which is kinda disrespectful. Rhea and Dom had a good little feast, and Dom's card declined. Hey, if you do this in front of a female, it's over and you know you ain't getting a second date. So on March 13th, the feud would continue, and Dom would want a match against his father at WrestleMania, and Rey said that he couldn't fight his own son. It got to the point where Rey walked away. The next week on SmackDown, it would be more of the same, and at first it sounded like Rey would actually accept, but unfortunately, he said he couldn't fight his own son. The next week, Dom would make it extremely personal when he went up to his mom and his sister and just trashed on them and called Rey a deadbeat. Dom would tell his mom to shut up, and all Rey saw was red. He pushed Dom and finally accepted the match for WrestleMania. The match was official. On Raw, Rey had a 1v1 versus Priest, and Dom interfered in the match. So at the Hall of Fame ceremony, during Rey's speech, Dom and the Judgment Day walked out immediately. Yo, that's crazy. And now, it was time for the match, and Dom's entrance was so tough for real. During the match, Rey would beat Dom with a belt, and Dom threw water at his sister. Dom would try to cheat, but Bad Bunny jumped in and costed him the match. The next night on Raw, Dom would try to press Bad Bunny, but got decked in the face twice. I'm crying. After this, Dom would just have random matches and promos, and I gotta say, he was so over. Dom could have arguably been the most over heel in the company. So in June 2023, Dom would start a feud with Cody Rhodes, and on June 5th, they had a promo on Miz TV, and Dom slapped the hell out of Cody. And at the time, Rhea and Dom were so tough, honestly. But the next week, Cody would come out and challenge Dom to a match at Money in the Bank, and eventually, Dom would accept. At Money in the Bank, they had the match, and a pretty good match, which Cody Rhodes would go on to win. After this, Dom had a match against Seth Rollins, and he had a couple promos with him. Dom kept losing, so he needed something big. So Dom got an NXT North American title shot and got the win by help from the Judgment Day. Dom had a couple title defenses, but on September 30th, Dom lost the title to Trick Williams. He won the title again on October 3rd, but only held it for 2 days. So the next big thing for Dom is over the next countless segments and everything, he would start helping Liv Morgan. Liv gave Dom a key card and called him daddy, and I'm gonna be so for real, I don't know how Dom low-key never folded. It's crazy. Shit, I would've folded so fast. One segment has me dead though. Liv was giving Dom the Deshaun Watson treatment, and the way people were peeping is crazy. Later in the show, Dom beat Rey, and Liv and Dom had a moment low-key. Then, this happened.
With the celebration, Liv Morgan. Wow. This is what we do.
Rhea put a stop to that shit. It got to the point where he finally had to choose between Liv or Rhea, and I'm not gonna lie, Liv was looking way too good. But Dom shut that down and told Liv off. And I gotta say, Dom's got so much game to bag them both low-key. At SummerSlam, Dom was a pivotal part of Liv and Rhea's match, and a pretty good match. Dom helped Rhea retain the title. Then, this happened.
What the? Dominik Lyman, son of a bitch! Oh, now.
Yo, I never knew he flipped off the crowd, but the look on me and Ange's face. At Bad Blood, there would be a rematch, and Dom would be in a shark cage. He got dropped down, and Rhea got her revenge. So now, Dom needed something way bigger. So at WrestleMania, there would be a fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental title with Dom, Finn, Penta, and Braun Breaker. On night 2 of Mania, in a really good match, Dom would pin Finn to win the IC title, and Dom totally deserved it. So Dom has had a decent run, but recently had a feud with AJ Styles. They put on some amazing segments. Dom literally had a doctor's note. That's hilarious. AJ was literally on both knees praying to God. This shit was amazing. And at SummerSlam, they had a decent match, and Dom retained. And now, we're in present day, so let's answer one last question. How did Dominik completely change his career? Well, Dom turned heel because, to be honest, the fans weren't caring about him and Rey teaming. They didn't care about tag titles and stuff like that. It's cool for a little bit, but the company left them as a team for like 2 years, and that's way too long. As soon as Dom turned heel, he got so much aura. He finally got that it factor, and it's been working so well. Dom seems like the type of guy that you always got to keep heel, so hopefully the company doesn't make that mistake. Turning Dominik Mysterio heel was the greatest thing for his career and completely changed it. So now, what's his future potential? He's only 28 years old. I would fully expect sooner rather than later, he will become world champion and feud with the biggest names in the company like CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and maybe potentially John Cena. If John Cena is going to lose his final match out of everyone I've seen, I would think Dominik makes the most sense, honestly. I don't know, but we'll see. Dom has all the potential in the world, and I'm excited to see what's next for him. And that's it, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, but what do you guys think? What do you think should be next for Dominik Mysterio's career? And one more time, go follow our IG, it's on the screen, and then go follow our TikTok, it's also on the screen. I hope y'all have a great day. Make sure to subscribe and join the ride. And alright, y'all, Brother Productions, out here.